Good evening, everyone. You're welcome to the class, the very first class of um, Passion for Fashion introductory class. So this class is basically intended to give us an overview of what we are to expect and, the entire process. It's a 6 weeks program and it's going to be an amazing journey. But before I continue, some of you may be meeting me for the first time. Some of you may know me before now. My name is Bookiebash, aka Bookiebash. So everybody calls me Bookiebash. I am a fashion entrepreneur, mind coach, and a public speaker. So you're not only going to be learning from a fashion entrepreneur, you're also going to be learning from a mind coach and a public speaker because I will be teaching you how to learn. Because sometimes people might have made an attempt to learn how to make clothes, fashion, and they just couldn't seem to learn it. So one of the advantages you'll be getting is the fact that you're not only going to be learning from a fashion entrepreneur, you're also going to be learning from a mind coach because you learn through your mind. And I personally started my career as a fashion client service executive as Momo Couture Abuja. That was over 15 years ago or thereabouts. No, over 10 years ago, not 15 years, over 10 years ago. And I started out my career as a client service executive in Momo Couture. Now, Momo Couture is a high-end luxury brand in Abuja, and they really cater to executives. Then I had the rare privilege of serving late Professor Dora Akwendi. I had the rare privilege of serving former First Lady of Bayelsa State, Suswan. I also had the privilege of serving First Lady of Taraba State, Hawa Suntai, as at that time, that was when I think Jonathan was the president. That was when I started my career in fashion entrepreneurship. And then afterwards, I moved to Lagos to begin my fashion brand. And I've been, serving a lot of people, individuals in Lagos, here in Lagos. I'm based in Lagos. But I started my business off a lot of my friends from church because I'm a member of the Love World Nation. I attend Christ Embassy. So when I came back to Lagos from Abuja, I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody. The only people that know how to make clothes were in my church. So anytime I would go to church, I'll just wear stuff that I make and they'll be like, oh, I like this, I like this. Oh, can you make one for me? And then before you knew it, I was making for top executive pastors, directors, and I'm currently the wardrobe coordinator for the zone that I run in Christ Embassy Lagos Virtual School. So that's just a summary about myself and my career. I just thought to give you a bit of background of who I am and where I'm coming from. I could say a whole lot more, but we have a whole lot to do tonight in this session. So I would like to save us that time. But trust me, you are learning from someone that knows her onions and has been doing this for a very, very long time. Now, in my work, in my journey in being a fashion entrepreneur, I have come across a lot of people. I have met a lot of people, and a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to know how to sew. I want to learn how to sew." But I realize that what they really want is not really that they want to know how to sew. They just want to make money. And sometimes they get frustrated in between, and they are not really able to go to finish or go through the learning process. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this introductory class is to share the goals and objectives of this training with you and to give you the right mindset and to prepare you mentally and psychologically for the journey ahead. This class is designed for beginners. And I understand that there may be some people in this class that are not quite beginners. Maybe you started sewing, you know how to sew and stuff. So it's not like you're just learning needle and thread. And there might be some people in this class that, yes, they did home economics in secondary school and in primary school, but they never really used it for anything in their adult life. So whatever category that you're in, I want you to open your mind and don't say, well, I know it, I already know it, I already know it. That kind of attitude, you may miss out. I remember while I was in my 200 level, I think, as at that time, I had learned from someone, by the way, like, those that make freehand clothing, because I had a family friend that had a tailor shop. And as at that time, I was in course for home science management. I studied clothing and textile. I have a degree in clothing and textile. So when I was in my 200 level, then I was supposed to go to class for something. In my mind, I'm like, what does that lecturer want to teach me, Jerry? I've learned it. That woman that is teaching me how to cut, she has already taught me. But somewhere in my spirit, I just said, let me go for this class. You can never tell what you learn. So I went for that class. And as I listened to the lecture, I'm like, okay, I didn't know this. I didn't know this. And it was in that class I learned some things that I know up till today. So don't just think you know everything. So even if you already know how to sew or you have an idea of how to sew, just come like someone that is a JJC, as it were. If you do that, you are going to increase your teachability index and you'll be able to learn more. And even if you've learned it before, oh, okay, I'm showing you needle and thread, this how to do running stitches, this how to do this. You might know it, but just take that time and learn as though you don't know it. It comes to you fresh. There's just something new that you will get that you probably didn't know before. And if you're a beginner, congratulations to you, because you are just about to experience what some people might have tried and they never got. Because I'm going to be giving you an experience that would let you learn how to sew quickly, easily, for free. Speaking of free, because this training is free doesn't mean it's not valuable. Because I thought to myself, I've met a lot of young people and they say things like, oh, the reason why I've not learned is because a lot of the fashion houses, they charge. Even me, let me not lie, I charge. Sometimes I charge up to 500,000 to teach people. And that's why many times I don't really have many students in my shop, because teaching people is quite a lot. But I decided to just prepare this for anyone that is really, really interested in learning, because the real price you pay is not even in the amount of money you send to my account or to the account of the person that is teaching you. The price you really pay to learn is the amount of time and attention that you give to what you're being taught. If you don't pay time and you don't pay attention, even if you pay 1 million naira, even if you pay $1 million, 1 million naira, $1 million will not get the information into your mind. It will not get the information into your system. The money that you're paying is only access to the information. And what I am giving you on this platform is free access to the information. So if you don't pay time and attention to be in class, for example, we have almost 100 people on the platform, and we have just less than 20 people here. And you see, this is the simple reason why some people don't know the things that they're supposed to know, and they are not making progress in their life the way they are supposed to. Just because they are not really paying the real price. The real price is not the amount you send to the bank account. The real price you would pay is the time and attention that you are going to give. Some people may have missed this class for some genuine reason. Maybe they're at work, they're on the move and all that. So that's why it's been recorded, so that it can be uploaded and then you can watch on a later date. So whatever the case is, you still need to pay time and attention. So if I was going to charge, let's say 100,000 or 150,000, some people say, well, I don't have 150K, I don't want to learn. But now I'm not charging anything. How many people are here? So really and truly, do people really want to learn? So if you are ready to pay the time and attention, then you can be sure that you're going to get value. So let me be sure that you are still with me, so that I'm not talking to myself. So just put in the comment section, I'm with you, I can hear you, I'm following. Just so that I know that, Okay, perfect, Jasmine, you raised your hand. There'll be a time to ask questions. So right now we're still in the introduction. So just in case I don't mention anything you want to ask. Okay, I'm with you. Thank you very much. V says I'm with you. I'm with you. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, so, all right, great, fantastic. So let's continue. Okay, so I said you have to pay time and attention. So given that, so I'm just going to reel out the objectives of this training. We have 4 things we want to achieve from this training. Number 1, the first objective of this training is to give you a proper practical overview of garment making process. What do I mean? Okay, how do people make clothes? Like you just see clothes. I want you to, at the end of this training, you should be able to have a proper comprehension of how clothes are made, from the designing stage to the cutting stage to the assembly stage and to the finishing. Be like, oh, okay, if you want to achieve this, this is what you do. Oh, if you want to achieve this is what you do. It's no longer going to be magic. Fashion is very broad. Garment making is very broad. So I cannot promise you that, oh, I'm going to teach you everything about fashion. I'm going to teach you everything about garment making. No, I'm going to teach you what you need to know to give you a solid foundation to build upon at any time in your career. Because even the Bible says, once the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? So how you learn what you learn is very important. Because if you learn wrongly, you are going to be building on the wrong foundation. And somewhere in between, you might get stuck. There might be something you just don't understand. So this class is basically designed for beginners, someone that you have no clue, you have no idea of how to sew, or maybe you even know how to sew, but you just want to, solidify your knowledge. It's fine. You are welcome here. So the first objective is to give you a solid foundation on the process of garment making. If you've ever spoken to anyone that makes clothes, they'll tell you, oh, freehand pattern. You might have heard, oh, do you use freehand or do you use pattern? Do you know? So the standard way of garment making, according to those who design the process, is to use pattern making. And that's what I'm going to be teaching you. I may mention one or two things about freehand cutting. I can tell you, I can explain to you the advantages and disadvantages, but I can only tell you what I've learned and what I do, which is pattern making. I'm going to be explaining to you the foundation of pattern making, which is the fundamental principle of making any garment. If they like, let them be bringing that style from Switzerland or from Ireland. As long as it's a human being that wants to wear that clothes, you have to understand the basic principles of pattern making and basic blocks. So those are the foundational things you're going to be learning. The second objective is to give you a clear entry point in your journey as a fashion entrepreneur. Now, fashion is very broad. You can decide to do children's clothing, you can decide to do women's wear, men's wear, you can decide to do sportswear, you can decide to do curtains, you can decide to do jewelry, whatever thing that you're going into. What you're going to be learning here is going to give you a proper entry point. There's casuals, there's corporates, it's very broad. There's accessories, you know. So the things that you're going to be learning here is going to give you a foundation on, okay, which one do I want to do? Where do I want to specialize in? What do I want to focus my energy on? So it's just for you to have an entry point. You cannot do everything, but at least when you have a foundation, you know, okay, let me enter through here, then I can expand to other areas. Or let me enter through here, then I can expand to other areas. That's the second objective. Now, the third objective of this training is to help you understand that fashion is an art. It's not just about, oh, I want to learn how to sew. It's an art and it's a form of expression. And so you see, there are some designs that you see online, especially, of course, Vicky James does a lot of amazing design. If you follow her and you see her creativity, you see that some designs are painted, some designs are done with, some extra material, some with beads. You see the color combination, you see the texture. It is an art. It's an art. So sometimes, let me not say sometimes, most of the time as a designer, you should see your work as a piece of art. No matter how little it looks, no matter how small it looks, it may be even be a t-shirt where they just printed something on top of it. It's an art. So you have to understand that's an art. It's also going to be one of our objectives. Then the final objective of this training is to help you monetize your skills. Monetize skills that serve as a means of income. Like I said earlier, I said some people want to learn how to sew. It's not as if they want to learn how to sew. It's money they want. They want to be making money. When they see that someone is making millions from fashion, they want to make that kind of money. But before you make money, you have to know that there's a process. You have to productize your skill. So I'm going to be teaching you how to productize your skill because people they don't really care about your skills. They don't really know, they don't care. What they want is to solve their problem. They don't really care about your skills, what you know how to do. The thing that you know how to do, how can you help them get what they want? How can you help them, feed their own desires? That's what is important to people, not your skills. And now the skills that you're going to be getting here, I'm going to be showing you how you will now use it to create valuable products and services. So until you are able to put yourself in a position where you can create a valuable product and service, you cannot make money because it's about value. I'm going to be teaching you how to create value with these skills. That's most likely going to be towards the end of the training. Now you know how to sew. Now you know how to use needle and thread. You know how to make skirts. You know how to make blouse. You know how to make simple this. So now that you know, how do you want to convert this skill into something profitable that you can earn an income from? And even when you start a business, do you start eating the money immediately? What are the things you need to do? If you want to market, how do you market? Who do you market to? What are you selling? Those questions, they are all going to be answered in this class, in this training. It's going to be fully comprehensive. And don't think that because you had free access to it, you wouldn't have paid for it. Of course, you would have paid for it. I know how much I charge for these trainings, but this is just something I just wanted to do just to help as many people has had this desire for a long time. And for some reason, the funds is a challenge. So you'll be learning how to monetize your skills. Very, very important. And you see, people might, you might come to this class that, okay, it's not that I really want to make money. I just want to learn for myself. That's also a good reason. It could also be that I just want to learn so that I'll be able to communicate better to my tailor. That's also a good reason. No knowledge is lost, even if you are not using it to earn an income. Just know it for yourselves. When we for at least for those of us that did home economics in secondary school, some of the things that we learned then, if we are taking them more seriously, they will serve as a thing of value for us. Because some of the things I'm going to be teaching you are things that we learned in home economics. It's just that some of us, we didn't really take it seriously and we didn't think that it could be of anything of value. But I'm going to be showing you how valuable it can be. I remember a particular project I did when I was in, I think, GSS2. It was how to make underskirt. I don't know how many of you did that project, but I think I did it in GSS2 or GSS3, where they'll tell you to go and buy 1 yard of white material. You now use needle and thread to sew it. You put the lace at the base, you put the elastic on the waist, and you'll be feeling good about yourself. I don't know if there's anybody that executed that project. Can you just comment, say something on the comment section? I did. Let me see how many people. Let me see how many people did that project. I did. Okay. Yes. So yes, I did. Okay. Vic said, Temidayo say I did. Bakari Janet says I did. Yes, I did. So yeah, and it was fun. Yes, it was fun. Yeah. So now some of these things that we learned, it's just that some of us, we didn't know that we could convert some of those skills into something that is of value that we can sell. And I'm going to be showing you how those things that you learned in those home economics class can become something you can sell. Because you already have the skill, you probably didn't know that you could sell them. I'm going to be showing you. So don't take anything for, oh, I already know it. I already did it in home economics. No, take it very seriously. Do it like a refresher course. Yes, an apron. Janet Bakari says an apron. Yes, I also did that apron. So because right from when I was young, I loved making clothes. So I want to believe that everybody on this platform has a passion for fashion. There's somewhere in your heart, you just have that passion for, I want to make clothes and all that. So yeah. So yes, okay. Tosi said a nice gown. Yes, so yes, we're all in the same boat. So all those things that you learned, they are so valuable. It's just that you probably didn't know that you could sell them, you could convert them into skills. So that's what we're going to be learning, how to productize your skill. And then because I'm a mind coach, I'm going to be teaching you some areas of mind management where you that will help you develop confidence in your pricing and your product. Some people will say 20,000 naira, is it not too expensive? Wow, who told you it's too expensive? We're gonna talk about all those things. So you guys are in for a very fantastic time. So having said that, the next thing is I want to prepare your mind. I want to prepare your mind regarding some of the things that I expect you to do. You in this process, you're really going to have to use your imagination in so many things in terms of creativity. You have to exercise your creativity. I can just tell you, I can just give you information. But you see, your mind, there's a way you have to use your mind to develop your creativity. So you have to engage your imagination. Now, this training is an online training. So your mind and your imagination has to be actively involved. Some people don't really believe that you can actually learn how to sew from online. Well, I proved it in 2020 during the lockdown when, a lot of people were not sewing clothes. I needed another way to earn an income and also make an impact. I decided to do some free trainings online in 2020. And some people did not believe that they could learn online. In fact, I had a lady that told me that she had paid a lot of money to learn this thing, yet she could not learn it. But just watching my videos, she said it was like magic. Like I made it so simple. And guess what? They learned it without even having a sewing machine. So even if you don't have a sewing machine, that's not a problem. Of course, I'll show you the parts of a sewing machine and how to use it. But even if you don't have a sewing machine, you will use needle and thread because that is where you will start from. Because before the sewing machine was invented, every sewing was done with needle and thread. We will begin with needle and thread. And I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, because I don't have sewing machine, I will not be able to learn. No. The fundamentals is not even really about the sewing machine. The fundamentals is in the designing and in the cutting and in the communication. Once you know how to design, you know how to cut, and you know how to assemble what you have cut into a garment, then you are fine. Then you also need to know how to use your imagination. Now, how do you develop your imagination? You develop your imagination by engaging your mind in videos and pictures. You just look at pictures. For example, sometimes I have clients that tells me, oh, design a style for me. How am I supposed to know what style to design? That's because I have fed my mind with a lot of pictures. Sometimes in my free time, I just go and I'm just looking at Pinterest. I'm just looking, I'm feeding my mind so that when I need to cogitate and I need to create, I have something. So you need to feed your mind. There are some simple designs that I will show you during the course of the training. You just be like, so I can make a bubble top like this and it will be like this. These things have always been there, but I'm just going to give you perspective. Now it's not going to be left to your own creativity and imagination to create and recreate. There are some brands and designs that they don't work with too many patterns. They only work with like 2 or 3 patterns. But they just change the fabric. Today they will use damask, tomorrow they'll use silk, tomorrow they'll use this. But it's the same kind of clothes they are making. They're just changing the fabrics. So you need to understand those things and be able to use your imagination to say, okay, if I do this, this is what I can do. If I change this, some people they only sell boo, but they'll just maybe put stones or something. So it's all about creativity and imagination. So those things cannot be taught. Those things have to be exercised. The best I can do as your facilitator is to give you perspective. But for you, you have to take action. Another thing you need to do is to actively participate and plan the execution of your task. Your assignment, if I say, okay, this is what you're doing today, this is the assignment I'm giving you, don't take it casually. Make sure you do the assignment. No matter how little it is, make sure you do the assignment because little drops of water make a mighty ocean. That thing that you think that is small or also insignificant, oh, I know it already, Jare. Do it. Even if you know it already, just do it for the sake of doing it. Just do it just to fulfill all righteousness. Just do it. It will engage your mind in the whole process. It will let you know that okay, you are involved in a program and you are in the journey. It's about activating your mind to learn. I told you I'm a mind coach, so I'm also teaching you how to learn. It's part of how you activate your mind to learn. Oh, our teacher said we should, oh, our instructor said we should do this, just do it. So you have to actively plan your assignment because I'll give you tasks, I'll give you assignments, and you have to do it every session. Now, this 6 weeks program is going to be a mixture of live sessions like this and video tutorials. So I have recorded video tutorials. I'll post the link and you will watch it. And then on Mondays like this in the evenings, we'll discuss. I'll answer your questions. Maybe you had a challenge in a particular video where I explained something and you didn't quite understand. You ask here, and when you ask here, other people have the opportunity to listen to your question and have them answered, and then they will have a better understanding. So we'll discuss, and then I'll look at your projects. There will be some online submissions on the group chat because there are 2 chat rooms. There's the green chat and there's also the blue chat. So for those that are on the blue chat, you will submit your assignments on the blue chat. For those of you that are on the green chat, you also submit your assignment on the green chat. So whatever task that you're given, make sure you do it. Make sure you watch the videos. And those videos is not something you watch once. You watch it, first of all, to get an overview. You watch it second time to study. Then you watch it the third time to execute. When I was in school, that's how I used to read. And people learn differently. The first time when you are watching it to just get an idea, an overview of what is being discussed. The second time you are watching it to study for details. The third time you are watching it to execute. That's how to learn. By the time you watch it the third time and you want to execute, you shouldn't have any issues. But just in case you have any issues, that's the essence for the live Zoom. You'll say, oh, Bookiebash, I tried to do this and I was unable to do this. This was the challenge that I had. Oh, this is it. So I will answer your questions and then you go back to the drawing board. The next thing I want to prepare your mind also on is the kind of mental preparation. What would I call it mental now? Okay, let me say educational preparedness you should have. Sometimes some people have this idea that garment making is just about, okay, you cut, okay, Benedicta says I'm following, I just saw your message. Okay. Some people just have this mindset, it's not just to cut, it's not just to cut. See, let me tell you something. You see, garment making and garment construction it's a whole lot about arithmetic, geometry, and dimensions, arithmetic, and geometry. So if you know that you don't like technical drawing, you don't like numbers, you don't like geometry, just exit yourself gently from this class. If you don't like you don't want to talk about circumference, diameter, all those things you learned in primary school and secondary school, pi, 22/7, all those things. If you know you don't like it, just leave me alone. I don't want to wahala. So you will need to refresh your mind on geometry, You need to refresh your mind on arithmetics, plus, minus, multiplied by, divided by, pi. That is 22. If you hear the word pi, that's the sign pi, that's 22/7. Because you're going to need it in doing your calculations. So when I say, okay, this is a circle, this is a rectangle, this is a trapezium, this is a circle, this is the circumference, the diameter. If you start hearing me saying all those things in the video, don't say what is circumference, what is diameter. Please go back to your secondary go back to your secondary school book and go and read it. So when I say, okay, 2 divided by 4 multiplied by this, so all those things are going to be needed, because you cannot learn garment making or garment construction successfully if you don't understand simple arithmetic and geometry and dimensions. Bumi is laughing, but it's true now. If you don't understand simple arithmetic and geometry, when I say, oh, make a perpendicular bisection, you'll say, what is she saying? Perpendicular bisection. What's that? Okay, so no, don't be afraid. It's not as if I'm going to say anything like that. But a perpendicular bisection would mean that you divide a line into 2 equal halves. So I'm not really going to be saying a lot of arithmetic jargon for those that are just very fresh into construction. But I'm just preparing your mind so that you do a refresher on your geometry and your arithmetic. Very, very easy. You can go on YouTube. I would have actually prepared a video on that, but I just thought it's very elementary. Like, I cannot be teaching you the things that you're supposed to have learned when you were in secondary school. That's not what this course is for. So just to do a refresher, you can just go on YouTube and learn about simple geometry: rectangle, trapezium, triangle, cone, all those things. Because when you want to apply them in design, I will not say this. I will just call the name of the shape, and I will assume that you know what I'm talking about. I'll just say circumference, I'll say diameter, I'll say radius, I'll say pi, I'll just say all those terms, and I will assume that you understand what I'm saying. And so just in case you don't know it, I'm just preparing your mind now. Please go, and you have that assignment today. In fact, that was the assignment that I said I was going to give you for this class. Between now and the next class is going to be on Wednesday, and that's going to be a video. I'm going to upload a video, and I'll send you the link to watch. So between Monday and Wednesday, you have the time to go and learn about arithmetic and geometry, so that when you start doing your calculations, it will be easy for you to understand. Are you following? Is everybody here? Please, let me let me hear from you. Are you going to do your assignment? Say yes, ma. Person said yes, ma. Make sure you do your assignment. Okay, yeah. Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Okay, V, I've seen your yes, ma. All right, great. Okay, so let me hear yes, ma. Okay, V said yes, ma. Bumi said yes, ma. All right. So, okay, I want to believe that you'll all be very faithful with your assignments. So finally, what I want to mention to you is that at the end of this 6-week training, there's going to be an examination. I'm going to give you an exam you're going to take. And for everyone that takes the examination, you're going to have a certificate of completion. I'm going to issue you a certificate of completion upon your completion. So this is something very serious. Don't say because it is free, you do anyhow. No, because it is free doesn't mean it doesn't have value. I could have charged you 200K. I could have charged you 50K. I could have charged you 150K. I could have charged you any amount that I feel like charging. And I will go and meet those that I know I will pay. But even if you give me 1 million, even if you give me 500K, even if you give me 100K, if you don't pay the real price, which is time and attention, no matter how much you pay, you will never learn it. Never, never, never. So I want you to know that the real cost you are paying is time and attention. And you have to pay it. Are you ready to pay it? If you are ready to pay it, say I'm ready. I'm ready. Say it in the comment section. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let me see your I'm ready. Okay, V says I'm ready. It's like only 4 people are responding. Tosin is saying I'm ready. V is saying I'm ready. Timidayo and Bumi. Okay, Olu says I'm fully ready. Okay, Perfect Jasmine says I'm ready. Benedicta, I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay, all right. Okay, good. I'm happy you are ready. Okay, so there is going to be an examination. It's going to be an objective. I've actually set that examination based on the class that I did in 2020. But I'm going to go back to the questions that I set and check because I want to do an updated video. So the questions that I set for that class. So, and I'll update the questions. So when you are watching the video, be listening, because the questions I'm going to ask are based on the things that I said in that video. So those, I wish I even invited some of my students that did the class in 2020. It was a very, very interesting class. And we have students that scored 100%, and it was purely online. So you can learn this thing is something I've done before. I've taught people how to make clothes online, and they started their fashion business. So don't say, oh, until you go to that person's shop. It's only people, well, sometimes people that are, well, I don't want to, let me not talk down on anybody's process. Let me just speak for myself. It's not until you it's not until you come to my shop before you learn this thing. Although I have a physical training program, but that one costs quite a lot. So, but I believe that with this online access, you will be able to achieve. Like I told you earlier, it's not like I'm going to teach you everything about garment making. I don't want to promise you that. But of course, if you want to learn more, you can further your training. I have a platform for that. But I just want you to let us finish this one first. When we are done and you think you want to continue with me, or you want to continue on your own, that will be left for you to decide. But at least get some good value from what we're going to learn from here. So at this time, I just want to open the floor to anybody's questions or comments. It may not be a question, maybe a comment, something that you have to say about what I've said so far. You can raise your hand if you want to say anything. Does anybody have any question? Any comment? Okay. Janet, any question?
Yes, ma. I have a question.
Okay, Timidayo. Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, ma. Thank you once again for this wonderful opportunity.
Okay.
So ma, I want to find out like the training. How many times in a week will the training be?
Oh, okay. Is that all? Is that the only thing you want to know?
Yes, ma.
Okay, I already mentioned that the classes are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But because they are video tutorials, you can watch at any time. And I already divided the training into three sets. The first set is this basic one, hand sewing, needle and thread, simple tops. The second part is the more complicated one where you do pattern making, construction and stuff. Then the final part is the monetization. So the monetization would most likely be done on a Zoom live, not on a recording. The one that are recorded are the tutorials, because that one you need to go back and watch again and again till you understand it. So it's a hybrid, it's a mixture of live Zoom and recorded tutorials. Of course, the Zoom live will be recorded so that those that cannot catch it can continue. So that's
Uh,
that's how it's going to be. So it's not like there's a specific day and time for a class. The one that you really need to meet is the Zoom live, when we are live. And it's most likely going to be on Mondays like this every week for the next 6 weeks. So, like during the course of the week now, I'm going to upload some videos for you to watch. And so on next week, Monday, we'll come here and discuss the videos, questions. Oh, this was what I was able to make. Oh, this one I didn't understand it, this and that and that and that. Do you understand?
yes, ma. Thank you so much.
All right. Does anybody have any question? Okay, so I posted some things on the group chat and I told you to get some materials. There are some things you need to get to prepare yourself for the class. Some of you that already sew, you might have some of these materials, but some of you that you don't sew anything, you don't know how to sew nothing, go and get it. And if you need supply, send me a DM. There's only one person that has ordered for hers, and I've already, sent a dispatch to deliver it to her. There are things you can actually get around you. Just ask around. If you go to any shop that they're selling tailoring materials, they sell them there. You understand? So you can get it on your own. But if you're having trouble getting it, let me know. That's if you live in Lagos, because I'm based in Lagos. If you're not living in Lagos, I may not be able to help you. But if you live in Lagos, hemming gum, zigzag scissors, pencil, measuring tape, and all those things, needle, thread, teru fabric, teru calico, because those calico materials are the things that you will use to sample some of your designs and your hand sewing, like we did in secondary school now and primary school for some of us. All right. Okay. Tosin says, thank you so much for the opportunity to be part of this training, the encouragement and the yeah. So, okay, I think that's about this. Okay, Bomi says she's in a noisy environment that she cannot speak. Okay, well, we're going to have another opportunity to have a live like this. So even if you can't speak today, you would speak some other time. Okay, I would encourage everyone to always join the live. It's so important. Always join the live. Always join the live. because there's nothing like you being there. When you are listening to the recording, you can't ask question. You can't really express yourself. I think that's about it. Let me check. Okay, so that's about all you need to know. So the next thing you need to do is to prepare to execute your task on the next video. The assignment for today is to go and revise your geometry, get your measurement tape, understand the dimensions on the measurement tape. If you take a measurement tape, it has two parts. There's the part of inches, there's the part of centimeters. For the course of the training, I'll measure on inches. Go and familiarize yourself with geometry, arithmetic, and dimensions. Even though there's a specific video I'll do for that. But if you do it on your own, it will help you understand the tutorials better. Most of the tutorials will be uploaded on YouTube. Of course, you'll be saying, okay, let me go and watch it. I can watch. There are many free videos on YouTube now. See, see how there's a scripture that's coming to my mind. Don't mind me, I'm a Bible person. I'm a church girl. It says that you can have many teachers, but you have only one father. There are many people teaching Orishi online, but when you have someone that is guiding you, it is easier and it is better, so that you will not be confused. Because sometimes when they say they uploaded the video on YouTube, they'll be like, okay, so after all, there are so many free videos on YouTube. Free videos that nobody is really guiding. You cannot go back and ask them questions. You cannot get mentorship. So it's not just about the video tutorials. It's about that there is a home you are coming to. There's a community you are coming to that can support you. So I just saw a question that said, Calico, we are using to use to practice. What about other kinds of materials like doll face? And of course, you can use any material. You can use any material. The only thing about calico is that calico is easy to handle. You can use calico or Ankara. The reason why calico or teru is recommended is because it's 100% cotton. It is easy to handle and you can mark on it. You can draw on it. If you are a beginner, if you are not a beginner, you can use any material you like. But make sure the material is cotton, because when you're working with other fabrics, they are what you call intricacies, and they have peculiarities. So don't engage in using any fabric that is not cotton. Maybe you want to go and use chiffon, or you want to go and use silk, or don't try it as a beginner, or you want to go and use all this lycra or this stretching material. Do not try it. Except you're an expert. If you're an expert, I don't know what you're doing here. You can stay on your own. But if you are just learning, if you are a beginner, I do not recommend that you use any other fabric aside from cotton. It can be China lining. China lining, the reason why I would not recommend China lining is because some of the quality is not good. By the time you start cutting it, it will start feeling at the edge and it will lose strength. But calico has strength, it's 100% cotton, it's turgid, and you can write on it and you can mark on it. That is why it's recommended for those that are learning. But if you have other fabrics that you can use, like all these Ankara pieces that are at home, all well and good, you can use that. And the calico is even basically for the pattern drafting aspect, not even for the freehand simple tops and skirts. For the freehand simple tops and skirts, you can use any pieces of Ankara you can find around. The reason why I recommended 3 yards of calico is so that when you want to learn how to construct your 5 basic blocks, that is when we are going to be using the calico. Please don't use your calico for the samples, for the freehand needle and thread. No, the calico is for the pattern cutting 5 basic blocks. So you can use it to learn how to cut it and put it together. Because I'm assuming that some of you don't have a sewing machine and you want to be able to sew your 5 basic blocks into a dress. And you have to use your needle and thread. And I'm going to show you how to use your needle and thread to do it. And if you want to go and be using another material, you'll be using a silky material that will be slipping your hand. You'll now say, Bookiebash, I'm not getting this thing. I did not send you message, oh, please. You can also use doll face, because doll face is turgid, but it is recommended to use calico because calico is 100% cotton. It's easy to use. So I'm not saying you can't use any material, but I'm just telling you why that is what is recommended. And we are going to be doing hand stitching. I'm just going to be doing you a refresher on, okay, this is how to do running stitches, this is how to do back stitches. We learned that in home economics, but some of us may have forgotten. So just to, refresh our memories. So any other question? So just expect, so anytime we're in class, I'm going to open up the group tonight for just an hour. So I don't want any unnecessary posting. I just post the link for the tutorial, and then I'll open up the class for 1 hour so that you can drop your comments. Like after this session now, I'm going to open up the chat for an hour. so that everybody that participated in the live can drop their comments, and so that other people on the group that did not join, they can see the feedback and say, oh wow, I should have joined. So there's this spirit of follow you get, so that when other people see that okay, things are happening, they will feel inspired to join. So that's basically it. So please, that's all I think you need to know. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a video, your first video for you. And that video is basically going to be teaching you about measurements, dimensions, using the measuring tape, how to apply measurements and things like that, dimensions and stuff I spoke about earlier. So I'm really going to be going to the very foundation. I'm going to be teaching you as if you don't know anything about garment making, like you are just a very newbie, because I'm not close to anybody on this platform to know this is your level. So I'm just going to treat everybody as if you don't know Jack. So even if you know it, just watch it for the sake of watching, like I said earlier. All right. So I think at this time we can wrap up. We've had about 48 minutes. I don't even want it to be up to 1 hour. The most important thing is that we have already discussed the things that we should discuss. That's why I'm asking. Is there any question? All right. All right. Thank you all so much for joining. We will continue in the chat room, in the blue chat and in the green chat for the next 1 hour so that we can continue there. So I think at this time I can end the recording.